Hey everybody, welcome to this session of emotions with me, Kate and Kevin. Uh, as you know that we start with the mindfulness training and before we start with mindfulness, we want to talk a little bit more about emotions and how most of your emotional responses are uh, neural pathways created in your brain. And it is how your limbic system, which is a prehistoric brain, connects with your rational brain, which is your prefrontal cortex, and how mindfulness and that pause that you create with mindfulness helps you take a step back and understand your emotions in a much better way. It's funny that when it comes to your brain, everything you do impacts your brain. Google changes the brain, being on Twitter changes your brain, computer games change your brain, conversing in a compassionate way changes the brain. Likewise, your brain changes when you tend to meditate. In many ways, a meditation is a form of a neural an emotional reset, and it's a way where you harness the neuroplasticity to change how you respond emotionally to the ups and downs of your of your life. Um, Also, when you meditate, it kind of lowers the activity of your amygdala, which is your limbic system or the prehistoric brain, and it's seen that in expert meditators. The amygdala, which is again, the amygdala is way smaller, and it also helps you create a uh, quick interaction with your rational brain. So, what's stopping you from meditating, given that there are so many ways in which meditation can impact you emotionally and make you make you an emotionally resilient person. So, one great activity that we'll do with you today, it's called the body scan meditation, and how the body scan meditation helps you uh, understand your brain and your body better and helps you respond better emotionally is one. It definitely gives you a pause, which allows you to step back. Two, it allows you to be friends with your body, and being friends with your body is indirectly being friends with your emotions, because way before your emotions manifest in your uh, rational brain or in the conscious brain, they have already manifested themselves in your body. So when you are friends with the body, you know, oh my God, I'm having those sweaty palms, I'm probably getting an an anxiety attack, or you feel your heart palpitating, okay, I am feeling a little fearful. So given that we are short on time, let's just dive deep into the body scan with me, Shilpi. Do a quick body scan, and just to give you an idea of how body scan works, you can sit up straight and close your eyes, and just taking 3 deep breaths. Now bring attention to the top of your head. Just experience what you're feeling there. What could be sensations? There may be throbbing, maybe some pain, maybe lightheadedness. Whatever it is, just watch it without any judgment and with compassion. Slowly bring yourself to your face and just see what you're feeling there. Are there any muscles tightened? Is your jaw clenched? How have you shut your eyes? Is it tight? Or is it just light? Whatever it is, just bring it into your awareness without any judgment, without any need to change anything. Now bring your awareness to your hands, to your shoulders, to your arms, fingers, and see what you're feeling there. Maybe some tightness, or maybe it's relaxed, maybe some tingling. Again, just watch it, no judgment, complete compassion and acceptance of the here and now. And you may have thoughts coming in, but just let them go. Just watch them and let them go. And bring yourself back to your breath or your body as your anchor. Now bring your awareness to your torso and to your back. And see what you're feeling there. Any form of pain, tightness, whatever it is. Just observe, watch it without any judgment, just accepting the reality the way it is. Now just quickly take a deep down into your legs, into your toes, your feet. Maybe just feel the sensation of how they're touching the chair, the ground if you're sitting on a chair, how your clothes feel on your body. Just bring into your awareness what your legs, your feet and your toes are feeling at the moment, what sensations exist there. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
A good place for me to transition in as well, Shilpi, because I think that's some of what I'm going to cover here. Um, that was an excellent activity, and breathing is definitely a great opportunity to slow yourself down so you're in a position to reflect. You know, a lot of people try to reflect when they're busy, and if your thoughts are flying a million miles a minute, how do you have an effective reflection? Very difficult to do that. So for my mindset piece, I want to go through a couple of strategies that have been very helpful with me. And my goal has always been, I don't want my emotions to control me, but I also don't want to be a robot, right? And I think that's the two extremes that you usually hear is either you're a very emotional person or you're robotic. And what I'm really looking for is that perfect middle ground where you can recognize and acknowledge your feelings, but you can still make sound, rational decisions without letting your emotions completely rule them, right? And where a lot of us get stuck as well is we think about the negative emotions when we're worried about it, right? We think about what to do when we're feeling sad, what to do when we're feeling angry. But any extreme emotion can really put us at danger of doing things that we shouldn't be doing or that we don't really align with. For example, I teach high schoolers. I've seen many high schoolers that are madly in love. Love is a great emotion, but it's also caused them to break some of their barriers and do things outside their comfort zone that doesn't really align with their character, right? Uh, we've seen it in casinos. You start gambling and you get that happy feeling of winning something. Hey, winning something feels really nice. But then, they start betting more and more and more, and that's where they can end up getting in trouble. So when we talk about emotions, it's not just the negative ones that we want to keep in control in some way. It's all emotions, because when we hit those extremes and we let that rule us, we are liable to do things that are outside of our character. So there's two strategies that I use to help keep my emotions in check, so I can acknowledge them, I can feel them, but I can also make the decisions that feel logical and sound to me, and I make sure that I'm aligning with my character. The first thing I call the 5-minute rule. And this works very well for day-to-day types of emotions. I wouldn't say use this if you're in the grieving process, right? Or something that's very big. But on your day-to-day emotions, we have those swings where you feel really happy, you feel really sad, something comes up that makes you angry, somebody cuts you off in traffic. So here's my 5-minute rule. Whenever you feel an emotion and it's raw, give yourself the opportunity to feel that feeling for 5 minutes, all right? And when I started doing this, I would actually put it on a timer. I'm not saying you have to do that, but for me, that worked well. But I want you to allow yourself that 5 minutes just to feel the emotion and not react. Once that 5 minutes is up, it's time for you to make an action step. So I am feeling this way. What do I do with this feeling? How do I move forward from this? What is my next step? All right. And what that does is when you know you're on a timer, and I don't even think it really matters what the timer is. The fact is you're on a timer. So you know that you have to end that moment of just raw feeling and start thinking about what your next step is. And just the timer being on the clock is going to help you understand that you're allowed to feel and acknowledge these things, but then you do have to move forward from it. And you want to move forward without letting the feeling carry you and drag you forward. You want to be in control of your next step, right? So it allows you to feel it, but then you move on. And the way that I do this is something that I'd like you all to write down. You can put this on paper. If you like to use your phone notes, go for it. But this is how I've allowed myself to do that moving on part, right? Because that 5 minutes is really important for me. If I'm sad about something and I need to cry, if I'm angry and I need to ball up my fists, that's fine as long as I'm not doing anything harmful, right? I'm allowed to feel and express those emotions. But after that 5 minutes, well, how do you pick yourself back up? So I have 2 guiding questions, and I write these down and I put them in places that are visible to me. And that's helped train me that whenever I feel an extreme emotion, and again, it doesn't matter if it's a happy emotion or a sad emotion, it doesn't matter where it is on the scale. When you feel an extreme, these 2 guiding questions will help you come back to who you want to be, okay? The first question, does this feeling match my vision? Okay, I'll say that again. Does this feeling match my vision? Quick example of that. Let's say I want to be, like Vernon said, I want to be published. All right, I'm working on a book chapter, and I send it out. Editor says, this is horrible, I don't like it, we're not going to work with you. All right, so I'm going to give myself 5 minutes to feel sad about that and say, oh man, opportunity lost, I can't believe that happened. But after that 5 minutes, my first question is going to be, does this feeling I have match my vision? And that will lead me to say, no, my vision is to be a published author. My vision is not to be a person who's sad about not getting published and they throw all their work away, right? And that's going to help with my resiliency and say, okay, I'm not going to let my emotions guide me. I am going to guide myself. And I can use those emotions to acknowledge them, to understand them, but I'm moving forward. The second question, why is this the best thing that could happen to me? So go ahead and write this one down as well. Why is this the best thing that's happened to me? Say that one more time. I know that's a lot. Why is this the best thing that could happen to me? The reason why I asked that question is it forces an action step. Whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whether you're angry, you're frustrated, no matter what the emotion is, if you can stop and ask yourself, why is this the best thing that's happened to me? It forces you to then do something else. So let's say you win a huge accomplishment and you say, why is this the best thing that happened to me? Well, now you're not going to stop at that accomplishment because you're going to say, oh, this is going to help me move forward by X, Y, and Z, and you're still moving. If you're sad about something, you didn't get get on the team, something bad happened. Why is this the best thing that happened to me? Oh, here's my next step. So it helps you transition from this is the emotion I'm feeling to this is what I'm going to do about it. This is how I'm going to respond. And that response is crucial, because if you don't have a response, the emotion just wells up and gets stronger. When you do have a response, you see that you can actually impact whatever made you feel that emotion in the first place, or you can at least impact your response to that thing. And that's really what we're looking for is, yes, you want to acknowledge the existence of this emotion. I feel it, it's real, but what's next? How do we move forward without ignoring our emotions? Because ignoring them can lead to their own problems, right? But how can we move forward in a way that we're going to provide action? So write this down, put it somewhere visible, make sure you can see this. And my challenge to you all, every day this week, find one time where you feel a strong emotion. Doesn't matter what emotion it is, but when you feel a strong emotion, stop, look at these two questions, and actually write down your answers. The more you put it on paper, the better you're going to get at transferring that to doing it without needing paper. So that's my mindset tip for the day with Shilpi, and I know Kate will be joining us later with her recording. Thank you all so much for joining in on this. I really appreciate you all being here.
Hey everybody, it's Kate, and we are going to do a little bit of some talking and a tiny bit of art. Not a ton today because feelings are a challenging thing to get onto paper when we're just sort of starting out. So what I thought we would do is kind of discuss the fact that our feelings are a form of our body communicating to us. So say we're hungry, we get a grumbly stomach, or we get a little angry or cranky, and we know we need to go get some food. Or if we start yawning a lot and we might be getting a headache, we know we're probably tired and we need some rest. These are some really concrete clues that our body gives us when it's asking for help, when it needs something that it's trying to talk to us. That's its language. Feelings do the same thing. They just aren't as clear and as explicit unless you really learn to sit and listen to them. So when a feeling arises, we tend to want to run. We've kind of been trained and taught, like, just squash it, don't listen, like, deal with it, get over it, move on, let it go. But sometimes you can't just let it go. You actually need to feel it before your body's able to fully release it. It's trying to talk to you. That's the thing. Don't let it just fly by and be like, oh, I'll just deal with it later. If you are starving, ravenous, hungry, you usually go and get something because your body's asking for it. So same with those emotions, the feelings that come up. When they arise, listen. They have something to say. It might not be that you're hungry. It could be, though. If you are, it might be triggering some feelings of like, ugh. But say you're feeling sadness and you just can't pinpoint, you don't know what's going on, but you just have this like sadness, this darkness that's kind of fallen on top of you. Sit with it. Ask it, like, talk to it, almost turn it into an embodiment of a person in a way. And why is it there? What is it trying to tell you? If you can kind of create a communication with it and take it out of your mental brain and sort of envision it or draw it or scribble, it might kind of start allowing you to understand the language it's speaking in. So it might be trying to say, I just need a hug. As simple and plain as that. Or I'm missing somebody and I need to make a phone call. It's not going to be as clear cut, and it will change each time. There's not like my stomach growls, I know to get food. It doesn't work as easily. It simply is though slowing down and sitting with that. You could feel elation and joy and so much exuberance, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just so happy. And even that is another feeling that you kind of need to slow down and say, okay, body, I know you're filled with energy and you're feeling great. What do we need to do? What are you trying to tell me? Is it just to get present in the moment and fully enjoy it? Is it, let's go for a walk and enjoy nature? Every feeling is trying to talk to you. The other thing is, I can suggest something, like I could right now do an art project and say this is how you'll deal with sadness when it comes up. But what works for me will not necessarily work for you. And it could actually be more of a hindrance. So I can provide suggestions. And of course, being an art person, I'm always like, get some paper, draw, but you might need to journal. You might need to take that paper and shred it to little teeny pieces, get some ice, go outside and throw it in the street. Whatever works for you is your body's go-to. Same thing with, if we were talking about the physical stuff, if I was hungry, my stomach's growling, I might go get a bag of chips. That might not be what your body needs. So I could say, every time your stomach growls, go get a bag of chips. And you'll be like, what the heck? I'm not eating, but my stomach doesn't want a bag of chips. It's not going to fulfill it. Same goes with these feelings. If one comes up and I say, every time you feel sadness, I want you to do a mandala. It's counterproductive if it's not going to be the medium that your feelings speak through. So more than anything today, what I'd like you to be able to do is try to sit with them when they come up. I've created a paper. I thought it was right next to me, but it's not. I'll attach it in the links below. And it simply is little thought bubbles that says, if my feelings could talk. And it might just sort of be a way to start it off, or you can put it somewhere. But anytime there's a feeling that you just can't let go, that's lingering, that you're just not quite sure what to do with, talk to it. It's there for a reason. It wants to have a communication. Just like we as educators, parents, friends want to be heard, our students want to be heard, our children want to be heard. Everyone wants a voice. Our feelings do too. So treat them just that way. Give them a chance to talk. So I am going to pass this over to Kevin for some mindset. And here we go.